A little background on my parents. They were artists, well-known Indiana artists, and very independent. And so they moved down to Bloomington in 1999. They retired down here from Indianapolis, where they'd been established artists for years and years. And they were very excited to come down here to the beautiful hills of southern Indiana, and they found a lot of artistic inspiration here. But they were in their 70s when they moved, and I think moving out of their home of 35 years was very difficult for them, and they ended up declining pretty rapidly when they got here, even though they loved it. I really knew how important it was for them to stay in their home, partly due to their personalities, being artists and quirky and very independent, but also just because their home was in the woods, and that's where they found inspiration. The time that I was not at my gallery working, I was almost 100% of that time was spent trying to find resources for them. And I can't remember exactly who it was that mentioned I should check into Area 10, but thank God they did. And so I started trying to connect with Area 10, and I was hooked up with a case manager for my parents who it just basically from that day on changed everything. She was wonderful. She came and met both my parents, and it was a gradual process over time. Before they both passed away, their service needs just kept increasing, and she was there when she needed to be. At the beginning it wasn't quite as much. She arranged for home-delivered meals. While I was at work, they could get lunches, and then she started arranging more and more services as I would call her and just let her know what was happening. And so she'd visit them, and she was always just this smiling, warm person who you were just so happy to see. The beauty of Area 10 is that it provides services and the ability to keep them there for as long as is possible. And in my lucky parents' case, that was until each of them had passed. So it meant everything to my father to be in his home, and I know that was the same for my mother. My father passed at home, and then as did my mother. She was really an inspiration to me because she was just a real go-getter. She had congestive heart failure, and that was what weakened her until she was in hospice at home. And at that time, I was still able to have Area 10 services and hospice helping me, and that's what it took, because at that point in her health decline, it was full-time plus, and she couldn't be left alone. So I was able to get assistance from caregivers to come to the house when I was at work, and then hospice was checking in on her. But she remained inspired in her home and being able to be creative until basically 3 days before she passed. She was still making artwork, and it was pretty exciting because to watch this happening and to see her in decline, but to see her spirit still so alive and so much creative energy behind her was just, it was sad because you didn't want it to go away, but you knew that's how we all want to live. We want to live until we die, and she did just that. And that is because she got the assistance to be able to do that. I would say that the kinds of services that Area 10 offers and just the caring of the people that are involved. I mean, it's a very compassionate group of people. I mean, I worked here, and even before I worked here, I just was so impressed by the people that they cared so much. And it really does contribute to the dignity of the life of the seniors they're serving. And that's invaluable.